Hello, welcome. My name is Tracy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Australia. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today's Tuesday, so it's CASEing the Catalogue day. And I have a really special case card today. It comes from pages 110 of the Annual Catalogue. It's using the stamp set called Healing Hugs, which is a distinctive stamp set, which is something new for Stampin' Up. I'm going to bring the catalogue in. So this is the stamp set here. And what distinctive stamp sets mean is it just looks really 3D-ish once you stamp it. So the card we're doing today is this one right up the top here. It's a sweet and elegant card. I'm going to just bring the card in and show you. So this is the gorgeous card here. And I love how the colours have all come together and it's just absolutely beautiful. It's soft and sweet, but really elegant. So we have Calypso Coral, Pear Pizzazz, Soft Sea Foam, Highland Heather, and the gorgeous Sahara Sand here as well. So let's go over to the craft table and we'll get started. This sweet and elegant card uses the Healing Hugs stamp set, which is a 9-piece set. Really, really pretty. And I'm also using the stitched all around framelits, and I'm just using that single stitch there. Now for the card in the catalogue, it actually uses machine stitching on a sewing machine. I don't own a sewing machine, so this handy dandy stitched all around comes into handy very well. We have some linen thread. The inks that we're using today are Highland Heather, Soft Sea Foam, Pear Pizzazz and Calypso Coral. We're also using Versamark ink, white embossing powder and the embossing buddy. And I have my kit here ready to go as well. You can find all the measurements and supplies for this card over on my blog, and that's in the description of this video. There is also a link to my online store where you can purchase all your Stampin' Up supplies through me if you live in Australia. If you are placing an order through me, please pop in the Hostess Code, which is in the description here as well. Or you can find that over on my blog and I'll send you out a free gift. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll start with the card base, and what I've done is I'm just going to, I've already pre-scored it, so I'm just going to fold it over and burnish that edge there. So that's my card base ready to go. I'm going to bring in my piece of Whisper White and I'm just going to do some of my stamping. So my stamping on this piece of paper includes the flower and 2 of these leaves. So let's bring in the Calypso Coral ink and that flower stamp. And this is all going to be fussy cut out, so look at how pretty that stamps. So much detail there. So I'm going to also bring in my Pear Pizzazz. And we're going to stamp 2 of those leaves on that piece of Whisper White as well. Beautiful. Now before I get going and do anything else, I'm going to just quickly fussy cut these ones out. So I'll fast forward that for you. Okay, so I have my pieces here and I've left a little bit on the bottom of those leaves just because that's where I'll attach my glue to the flower. So next thing we're going to bring in the Sahara Sand piece of cardstock, and I'm going to hit that with the embossing buddy because we're going to emboss that sentiment with white embossing powder. So I have my Versamark ink here, bring in that sentiment. I'll pop that down in the middle there. I have my white powder just sitting here as well, so let's bring that in. Okay, I'm going to heat that up and I'll be back in a second. That's our sentiment all ready to go. So bringing in the card base back in, what I want to do is I just want to sort of work out whereabouts on the card front that I would like my sentiment. And I'm also going to bring in just a pencil here, and I'm going to mark the top and bottom. So just in a couple of spots so I can see it, because we want stamping on the top and bottom of this sentiment. So on the top, we're going to bring in this stitched, well, here it is here, this stitched stamp, and I'm going to use the soft sea foam to stamp that one down. And I want to go along the top, but I sort of want to go in and underneath that sentiment as well, so just slightly underneath it. There we go. And then while we've got the stamping out and we're stamping on this, I also want to stamp with the Highland Heather. And using this stamp here, which is like a bush, I want to stamp so it's on underneath it, just coming out from it. There we go. And we have one little leaf set here that hasn't been fussy cut with the purposes, so we're going to ink that one up and stamp that as well. So we have two raised leaves here, and then one that's stamped straight down on the card. So we're going to stamp that in next to that Highland Heather piece. So just like that. Now I'm going to bring the big shot in because we want to put that stitched edging around here. So let's bring the big shot in. I'm going to open up my card. Oh. And the stitching is along the top here. So what I want to do is I want it to be above where the sentiment is going, but it can still be seen in that stitching. So about there, I think. And let's run this one through. That just gives it that extra detail there. So if I lay my sentiment down where I want it, let's pop these and glue these down to our flower. I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue where that extra bit of card is there, which is why you just leave that little bit extra so you've got more room to glue. So I want one of these set of leaves to go on the top of my flower. And I'm going to glue the bottom one to the bottom of it. There we go. Excellent. So we're right to glue this down, and because this is going to pop just a little bit over, I think I'll cut it off like I've done here, but I don't need to glue right to the very edge, so about there. There we go. I might as well cut that off now while I'm here. So with the linen thread, we want to do a big bow to attach to the back of our flower there. I'm just going to grab all those kinks out of there. Okay, that's good. I'm going to bring in a glue dot to stick to the back of my flower. So popping that on the glue dot. So we want it sort of poking out the top and the bottom there like that. And I can cut these tails off. And we're also going to pop this one up. So let's put some dimensionals on the back. So bringing some dimensionals in. I want to give this flower good support. And I'm also going to support the middle leaves in both those bunches. So let's cut down some side pieces. And just in those middle lot of the three. Hopefully you can't see them through. Nope, that's all good. Now let's take all the backings off. I cut all my nails off last night and now I'm struggling to take all the backings off. Okay, finally got there. So now we're just going to line this up so it looks good. Just going to copy. So the last little bit is just putting these sequins down. And in the catalogue they've used the metallic sequins. I have the old metallic sequins, so I don't have all these little tiny ones. So I used, what are they called? Iridescent sequin assortment. So what I'm going to do is I've got 5 of those there. I'm going to bring in my fine tip glue pen. I'm just going to pop some little dobs of glue down. And I'm going to use take my pick tool, which if you haven't bought one of these yet, I highly recommend it. It's a great tool. It has so many different uses, but this end has a little bit of putty on the end, and it just picks up all your sequins. So that's as easy as it is. So I'm going to pop them down into that glue. And when you buy your pick tool, it actually comes with a second one of these, but you can buy refills as well. So it comes with this one here is a spatula, and on the other end there is a poking tool. And then there's also another one that's got the large ball stylus and then the small ball stylus as well. Okay, I'll bring that up a little bit closer so you can see it. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this card. If you have, please give me a thumbs up, and I'd love it if you left me a comment. All the measurements and supplies can be found over on my blog, and there's also a link to my online store. If you live in Australia and you would like to purchase any Stampin' Up supplies, I would love to be able to help you out and be your demonstrator. If you have any questions, let me know. Until next time, enjoy your day. See you later.